Film, motion picture, cinema. A modern invention that made people amazed on how a picture could fluidly move in the early ages. And since then, nobody had thought that it would grow into commercial work like we found in the era of today. But bigger doesn't mean better. Well, I'm not only talking about how the industry had been run by big, massive companies dominating the box office that impacted small, independent films that usually put more care than those on the mainstream ones. I'm also talking about us as the audience. We have been treating films as our daily lives, a product rather than an art containing magic and wonder. Using the right arrow spaces to skip the dull moments of the filmmakers spent months, even years, thinking about it. And when we're done with a film or TV series, well, we just have it down into the dumpster. Never ever once again having an in-depth discussion with our friends or family. That's why I propose this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. A place to discover hidden gems. A forum where we could discuss in depth about cinema and what makes it so special, magical. And perhaps we could even go behind the scenes of those unsung heroes in the industry. Or maybe just having a small casual talk with the specific moviegoer fans. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Acinemalens. Okay, so everyone, my name is Greg and I come from Indonesia, but I'm currently studying filmmaking in South Korea. And why film, if you ask? So I remember when my parents would usually go on the date to the movies, and when I'm old enough to go as for a family time, I am really drawn out to the moving images myself. How it tells interesting stories that suspend our disbelief. So I started all the mainstream epic blockbusters like Captain America, X-Men First Class, animated movie, Despicable Me, and such. But then, as I grow older, I want to dive deep more into these films. So I started to watch films that perhaps known to be the one that changed film history, such as Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, that dive more into the one that appeal filmmaking more as a personal product, like PTA, Wes Anderson, Alfonso Cuarón, maybe another director that you perhaps could mention. And the journey still goes on until now as I explore the Korean new wave of Park Chan-wook, Bong Joon-ho, and I start to go back on how Jean-Luc Godard changed filmmaking to art. Or maybe Chang Yimou revitalized the Chinese new wave with his beautiful lush filmmaking. There's really a lot that I wanted to explore and wanted to share with you guys, and perhaps this podcast could do the justice. And why podcast, if you ask? Why not Instagram? Why not blogging? Well, I do remember 2018 when I was in high school. I'm looking at the small content creators like just reviewing films on Instagram. And there's nothing really special if you consider the platform they choose, but you could really see the passion on them sharing their experiences. And I want to be the part of that too. I want to share the passion of cinema to the larger audience from other platform. And so like pandemic hits and I decided to try reviewing films in 2021 through Instagram and blogging with the same brand, the Acinemalens. And honestly, I failed miserably and I lost a couple $100. Yeah, it's quite a depressing time for me, but even when I failed, like there was still a voice like telling me to share this passion outside. And in 2023, I am finally able to do this right now. I set my heart for this and I hope that I can finally commit to the project right now. Especially since I have bought this gear, I really hope that I could share what make it my passion. So I want to share this passion so much, but cinema, but filmmaking itself. So the podcast will have 2 episodes every week, releasing on Thursday and Sunday. On Thursday, I'll be doing solo podcasting where I'll talk about film reviews, lists, my personal opinion on a popular event like the Oscar nomination that just happened 2 weeks ago. The point is that it will be something personal about myself and film. And on Sunday, I'll be doing interviews where I'll be inviting guests to my podcast. Well, at this point, what I planned so far, none of these people are really popular, but there's a value to share from them, such as the person working behind the screen in filmmaking, or a graduate who studies filmmaking from another country, or a Marvel fan talking about Marvel films, and hopefully, as this goes, I could bring more famous people or people who have an in-depth knowledge about films right now. So obviously we'll be talking about films, and as this goes, I really hope that we could talk more than about pop culture. But maybe we could go depth into French New Wave, Italian Neorealism, Dogma 95, the Taiwanese New Wave, and what I really dream about maybe is to introduce Indonesian film to you guys, because there's really a lot of unique things coming from Indonesia films that sadly even us Indonesians haven't explored yet. And I do really hope that I could get a chance to share it with you guys. So do follow my journey, let us grow together, and like and share to your friends who share the same passion as you, my fellow listener. And if you could see in the background, there's nothing really much else, but I do wanted to add some maybe decoration. I want to upgrade my gear. I want to perhaps invite more people that in the cost to invite them. And so maybe you can support me by giving donation to the link below. And that's it, fellas. I'll see you on the next podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.